Yeah, I think we're good to get going here. Some people are going to be filing in, but that's just what happens. So we're going to get going here if that sounds good with the underground agency secrets. All right, awesome guys. So I really appreciate you joining me today, and I think I don't. I obviously memorize every single person that I ever, have a live event for, but I know I got a lot of new people on here. So what we're going to talk about today is how to implement the underground agency secrets that sells more policies, manages staff automatically, and frees up your time to do the important things. And all this can be transformed in your office in as little as 30 days. Okay, so that is the main thing I want you to take out of today is we're going to go through the underground agency secrets, and it's going to do all this stuff for you, and I'm going to show you how it can all be done. All right, so I'm gonna promise you something right out the gate. Okay, so I'm going to promise you that I'm going to share exactly how to do this. All right, does that sound awesome? The other thing I want to promise is I'm not somebody that teaches you something and goes away. So after I teach you this today, I want you guys to put me to the test. All right. And that test is I want you to take what I teach you today, go out, try it, and let me know how it's working for you. Okay. So I think that's going to be awesome. And that's my promise to you is I'm going to show you how to do this, and I'm going to show you how all this works. And a little bit behind the underground agency, if you're unfamiliar with it, hundreds of agents actually coming up to the thousands of marks, are familiar with it. And it's pretty awesome. So really excited to do this today. Now, my goal by the end of this training is you will have understood and actually believed why the underground agency is going to work for you in your office. All right. And my biggest goal is to just simply wow you with information that's going to work in your agency. All right. So that's what I am hoping to achieve out of this. All right. And the other thing is my goal is for you to stay to the end, obviously. So if you do stay to the end, I got a couple things for you. One, if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you guys, and this is live broadcast only. I'm going to show you guys, I have a secret members only area that I'll show you kind of how everything works. I'm going to go through it all first, but I got a members only area that I'm going to kind of show you. It's our mastermind group. That I'm going to show you how everything works. And this is on the live only broadcast. So even though there will be opportunities at replays, this part will not be in the replay. I cut it out. So, I'm going to have you understand everything about the underground agency, and then I'm going to take you to the underground agency just to show you our mastermind area portal. And so I hope that sounds fun to you guys. And if that is something you want to do, you want to check out, I want to make sure everybody here is on board. I want you to type commit in the chat bar if you are committed to stay till the end, so you can check out the underground agency mastermind portal. And the other thing I'm going to give you guys, if you stay till the end, and this is something I just kind of decided to do, I created this awesome, cool thing that people are absolutely loving. And that is the Ultimate Insurance Marketing Calculator. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give that to you today. I'm going to kind of show you how to get one today for free. Okay, so those are the two things you're going to get till the end if you stay, and that's the mastermind portal. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to give you that insurance calculator, and that's something no one else is doing. All right, so those are the two things. Cool? All right, awesome. Let's go. So what makes this different than all the other stuff you guys have attended? Okay, so first and foremost, my events that I do here, I give you real information that's practical and achievable. All right, I'm pretty transparent, guys. I don't do a lot of BS in what I tell you. I'm a pretty honest person, and you're going to learn a lot about myself and a lot about what I do by the end of this. And I want to be upfront right out the gate. So here is what I'm not doing today. I am not going to be pushing buying any leads or lists. All right. I'm not going to be selling you any type of software or anything that's real cumbersome to use, or I'm not going to be selling anything like that. And I'm not trying to recruit you for a different opportunity. Okay. And I have to say that one, that's funny, because I have been on those things where at the very end, you go through it and then all of a sudden they're like, well, you should come to work for us. And that's not what I'm looking to do. All right. So really that's what I'm not looking to do. But what I am looking to do in the next hour or so is really go ahead and share with you our practices and how we really approach everything. Okay, so I need you to do some things for me. I need to shut down your Facebook. Anything that's distracting to you on your screen, you need to shut that down, turn your phone off, close your door, whatever you need to do. All right, guys? And with that being honest with you, if that sounds fair to you, we can keep rolling. And for those of you who don't know me, and I know there's a lot of new people, my name is Joe Davis, and I'm going to explain within the parentheses here a little bit. And somebody dropped this line on me one day. One of my clients that's been with me a while, and he said, Joe, you're kind of the doomsday prepper for insurance agents. And him and I were talking, and I don't know if you guys know what the doomsday preppers are. I don't even know if they have a show anymore, to be honest with you. But the doomsday preppers are people that pretty much just are ready for the end of the world. And so they do that by either getting a bunch of food ready or weaponry or whatever it is. And so he said, you do that for insurance agents. And after I thought about it, it's true. Because the basis of everything is this, guys. The reality of our world is with Geico and Progressive, really the past 15 years, just coming up as far as a direct insurance carrier, and now a lot of Esurance, Geico Online. It's coming down to the fact that insurance agents are pushed more and more out the thought process of a normal client. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, and I know that. But the reality is this. So we have two options as insurance agents. We can either go ahead and let these guys kind of just take control of whatever they want, or we can figure out different ways to go ahead and market, build our client database, build relationships, and stick around forever. Okay. There is no doubt. I don't need to sit here and convince everybody as to why people need insurance agents. But what I do need to figure out is how we're all going to convince clients that they need insurance agents. Because if we don't do something about this now, it's going to be a very, very slippery slope and short period of time before we're all out of business. And I can promise you that. All right. It's going to be quick, and it's just every year it's getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And honestly, the top level companies, the executives, they're still making a profit whether the people are buying online or not. In fact, they're making more money. So you can't rely on them either. All right, so that's the doomsday prepper motto that somebody gave me. All right, so name is Joe Davis, and I tend to be the leading voice in growing agencies with the methods from the underground agency. And what I like to do is turn fundamental principles into practical sales conversions. That's really what this is about. And that's what we focus everything around. So is a lot of what I teach rocket science? Absolutely not. I like to think I'm the expert at taking any agent to their next level, and that's different for everybody. Some people might be writing 15 policies a month and want to write 30. Some people are at 50 and want to write 100, and so on and so forth. So whatever your next level is, I consider myself an expert to go ahead and take you to that next level. All right, and that's why all these principles and everything is practical and is going to show you how to do that. All right. And really quick note, the average agent I work with, they do write, just because everybody always asks this, so I kind of put it on here now. Average agent I work with writes about 86 items, and that runs about 58 policies per month. I do have several over 200 plus, okay? And I work with hundreds of different agents with different companies, carriers, etc. All right, so let's go a little bit about me. I've done a lot of things right, but I've also done a lot of things wrong. But I do, of course, I want to focus on the right things because I want to focus on what I figured out was wrong, what I figured out was right, give you the shortcuts. So first and foremost, some things I've learned after doing this for 10 years. One, I've learned that almost every lead or list I've bought was a complete and utter lie. Okay, I will tell you a little bit more about that in a second. 2, never assume your staff thinks like you or thinks at all sometimes. Can I get an amen on that one? And number 3, the number one misused asset as an insurance agent or business is, does anybody have the answer to that? That's a nice little trivia question that I like to ask people. What is the number one misused asset as an insurance agent or business owner? Who can get the answer first? Who can get the answer? The number one misused asset as an insurance agent or business owner. See who gets it first. Maybe who gets it first. Maybe we'll figure out a little prize. We'll have to think about that. Let's see. Sean says current client. Kendra is correct. Time, and a lot of right answers coming in after that. Awesome. Yes. The number one misused asset an insurance agent or a business owner is time. All right. So after doing this for 10 years, all these things really annoyed me because I had to learn them. That's why the little minions down there, because that's what my face looked like. Okay. So I finally realized that I was doing everything the hard way, and a lot of you guys are going to be able to be familiar with what I'm talking about. And even though you know the hard way, I want to teach you the easy way. All right, because that's just once you figure that out, it's a whole new world. So the hard way. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar, guys. If any of these things sound familiar, I want you to give me an amen. Buying $1,000 plus a month in leads, list, doesn't matter. You're spending over $1,000 a month. Having my staff cold call and hound people aimlessly every single day. All right. Having to micromanage every aspect of my agency. So whether it was sales, service, staff, marketing, advertising, organization, HR, every customer complaint that came in, having to micromanage every aspect of my agency. All right. Does this sound familiar to any of you? Wasting time on things that I, the agent, should not have been doing. We find it's a slippery slope because the second we maybe take a responsibility on, our staff and our agency always continuously think we should be taking on that exact responsibility. And that is definitely not the way it should be. Okay, so it sounds like, a lot of you guys are really seeing that the hard way is something that's going on in your agency right now. So one last time, if anybody currently is experiencing these in their office, give me an amen right now if the hard way is currently happening. I want to know who you are. And it's okay to admit it because, admitting it's the only way you're going to put it out there. So, you got to fix it. And that's what we're doing today. Because we're going to look at eliminating all of these here today, guys. That's why I bring these up. I don't bring it up to just taunt you, but we are looking to eliminate all of these today. Okay. All right. Awesome. So now this is a rhetorical question, but do you want the easy way that does not require you to ever have to buy leads, list, micromanage staff, or waste your precious time again, all while selling more policies? Of course you do. Now, I got to do this because people are ridiculous, and I've actually had people threaten to sue me over free event training. Anyway, so here's the legal junk, as I like to call it so eloquently. I am going to walk you through specific training systems and processes that are earning huge sales numbers for many agents currently, clients of mine. Mine and my clients' results are not typical, and the average person who attends any training gets very little results, as they usually do not implement any of the strategies taught. And notice that last key. That's why people don't get results from trainings. They don't do anything about them. However, I'm happy to show you exactly what is working for us free. Now, a couple of notes, and these are important. I want to really point these out. This is not for, get rich quick people or people that are looking for work from home biz op, or amateurs. This is only intended for insurance professionals that either you guys are working in the industry or maybe getting into it in some fashion. All right. So this is not one of those things where this is not a multi-level marketing, direct sales, and anything like that. All right. And if you're looking for those opportunities, shoot me an email, joe@imwithdavis.com, and I will get you the name of somebody else because I don't do that. All right. So let's go. Here are the 3 secrets of the underground agency. And if you have a notebook, hopefully you've been taking notes, but really start now because here are the 3 secrets. Number 1, Secret is develop fresh and new good leads for a fraction or no cost compared to buying them. So that's the first secret that we aim to do at the Underground Agency. Secret number 2, create a productive staff that's working with a purpose every day and wants to achieve the same goal as you. How awesome would that be, guys, if your staff was on board every single day? Could you imagine that? Imagine what that would be like if you walk in every day and you know your staff is on board with you and wanting to achieve the same exact thing. And secret number 3, installing an efficient and automatic process that allows you to spend time on things that matter to you. All right, so those are the 3 big secrets of the Underground Agency. So at the beginning, we said the Underground Agency secrets. Here they are. Those are the 3 big. All right, so you guys ready to dive in? All right, let's get going. So secret 1, this is where we're going to start with developing fresh, new, and good leads for a fraction or no cost compared to buying them. And notice I say good leads. And we'll get into that a little bit. And before, when I told you one of the biggest things I learned in 10 years, how every lead and list I bought was a lie, this is where we're going to talk about this a little bit. And this is also, guys, you'll notice if you haven't already, I like interaction in my live events. Okay, so I want you guys to interact appropriately, of course. And, you know, so I want you to interact while we're doing things. Now, there is about a 45-second delay between when I ask a question, or well, actually when I talk and you guys are hearing it. You know, so if there's some awkward silence because I'm waiting for answers back, that's why. So what is the difference between a prospect and a lead? That's the first question I want us to answer. And the reason I ask these questions is simply because I need it out there and everybody needs to see it. Okay, and for anybody that answers these questions, I appreciate it because you guys are putting yourselves out there. And I know what it's like, you know, when you're sitting on a training or you're in a classroom and you put an answer out there and it's wrong, you feel silly. Don't do that. Don't worry about that here, because I want everybody to see that we all have the same thoughts, and whether they're right or wrong, we have similar ones because we're in the similar business, we're in similar spots. Okay, so we're not the competitors against each other. We're competing against staying alive here. Okay, so what is a prospect versus a lead? I want to see some of the answers come through, you know, and then I'm going to tell you what I used to say. I'm going to tell you what I think the difference is, but no, I say now I'm going to tell you what I know the difference is. So Allison, thank you. First answer, prospect is someone you have spoken to. All right, good answer. Anybody else? A prospect versus a lead. Prospect is ready and open to buy. A lead isn't. We got a few more. All right. Lead is qualified. Joe, I like where you're going. I like where you're going. Joe's actually going in the right direction here, guys. Okay. Joe is going in the right direction. So here's the difference, and I welcome you to keep putting your answers out here. So a prospect is actually a little bit the opposite of what the first two answers were. A prospect is really just the basic information. Okay, so a prospect is, you know, your name, address, phone number, and in our case, depending on the insurance you sell, it could be car. If it's car insurance, it's what type of car they're driving. If it's life insurance, it's, you know, their family information. If it's health insurance, it's, you know, pre-existings. You know, whatever the case may be, that's what a prospect is. A lead is somebody that has genuine interest in having a conversation with you. Now, why do I bring this up? Prospect is a possibility. Yes, Joe, again, I like that. Prospect is a possibility. Prospect versus lead, I bring this up for a very important point. Okay, because a prospect is generally what we're given when we're buying leads. Isn't that correct? Think about it for a second. So if you're buying leads from an internet provider, a telemarketing transfer service, they market them. What do they market those as? They market them as leads. Okay, and so they're charging you, I don't know, depending on what you're doing, anywhere from $15 to, you know, $30, $40, depending on if you're selling them auto, life, health. They're charging you really prospect information, which is lead pricing. Okay, so that's the biggest lie that companies that are selling you those things, the biggest lie they're feeding you is that they are selling you prospect information for lead pricing. Okay, a prospect is that type of information that you can go on Sales Genie for pennies and get. Okay, so that's a prospect. So that's a prospect versus a lead. And that's going to be important going forward that we understand that difference and kind of strip away, you know, if you're buying leads, quote unquote, you're buying prospects in reality. A lead is somebody that has a real interest. Okay, leads are who we want to talk to. Now, we like prospects because we want to develop prospects into leads because obviously nothing happens unless they're a prospect first. But that's the difference. So let's keep going with this. So what's the number one, when we look at the number one secret of prospect versus lead, all right, so how do I get the right prospect so I can turn them into a lead? That's our goal, right? Is to turn that prospect into a lead. So first and foremost, it's laser focused targeting of the prospects I want, okay? And that was the first thing that I developed was it was laser focused targeting of the prospects I wanted, because that's the first stage into turning them into a lead. Because let's be honest here, we want it done the easiest way possible because that's the most efficient way. So if I can target it with laser precision that nobody else is doing, all right, then I can more easily turn them into a lead. All right, next is creating the perfect message to those prospects. All right, so I know exactly who I want to go after, but now I got to know exactly what to say with that exact group. All right, so that comes back, and you're going to hear this a lot out of me, message to market match, and that's a big key component to that. All right. And then making a systematic requoting plan that's duplicated month after month. And that's where you constantly are in touch with these prospects, all right, and then turning them into leads. And lastly, this is maybe the most important part to everything, guys, creating one stellar marketing campaign that worked no matter the product I wanted to focus on over and over again. And I like to call it actually the plug and play map, okay, which I'll show you, and I'll give you an example of mine that I created for me. Yours could look different. But I created one for myself that I'm going to show you that is in the mastermind portal because I gave that to my members. But the plug and play map, it's really automatic because once you get it right and do it once or twice, you can then say, all right, I want to do this for car insurance. I now want to do this for life insurance. I want to do this now for health insurance, whatever you guys, supplemental plans, whatever you guys are really looking to do, you can use this plug and play map and really use it for whatever you want to. Different campaigns, it doesn't ever get old. It doesn't ever get stagnant. So that's exciting. This stuff, it just makes sense, right? I told you guys before, this is not rocket science. All right. But it's just, it's not even a refresher. We just need to back off a second and say, wait, I'm sick of spending and wasting my money with these lead providers and all this junk they're giving me. And this stuff it's simple and it makes sense. Agreed, guys? All right, awesome. So let's go to secret number 2. All right, and that was that the Underground Agency Secrets creates a productive staff that is working with a purpose every day and wants to achieve the same wants to achieve the same goal as you. And I think when I said this, somebody earlier in the chat put it's a dream. And let me tell you, it is a dream once you can accomplish it. Because one of the biggest stressors when you're an insurance agent is staffing. And there's a lot of things that come along with that. And that could be keeping staff, getting the right staff, getting good staff, making sure they're working. Their talents are being used. They're not wasting time and they're not wasting your money. There's a lot of different things. Staffing is very broad. But if you really think about it, if you can create a productive staff that's working with a purpose every day and wants to achieve the same goal as you, all those issues I just mentioned go away. Every single staff issue pretty much goes away if you can accomplish this secret number 2. Okay. And so that's what we're going to talk about next, guys. And I hope I'm not going too fast. I know that's a criticism people got. And if I am, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to change because I apologize. I kind of talk a little fast. Okay. All right. So let's see here. No, got stuck. All right, excellent. So secret number 2. Number 1, here's another question for you guys. I want to know, what is the number 1 mistake owners make with small business staff? What's the number 1 mistake we all make with our staff as small business owners? I'll give you guys a second. I'm going to take a drink here so I don't cough in your face. All right. The number 1 mistake owners make with their staff when you own a small business, what's number 1? And this isn't just insurance, guys. I didn't even put insurance. I just put owners, because this is number 1 no matter what. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's a, yeah. Yep. Let's see what else we got. Small business staff. Accountability. All right. So no structure. I like that one, Craig. Okay. So the number 1 mistake, and you can kind of, some of these answers actually do fall right in with what I'm about to say. But the number 1 mistake, and I was being kind of a smart aleck, they treat them like small business staff. Let's talk about this for a second. Okay. So we all treat them, and this could be, I don't care if you have 1 employee, 5 or 10. Okay. The reality is we treat our staff members as a small business, and you can't do that. And I'm gonna tell you a few reasons why. 30 years ago, you might have been able to, but today you can't do that. Okay, so what my general rule of thumb here is, and if you haven't written a lot down, write this down about the staff portion, is you need to treat 1 staff member like they're 100. Okay, and there's a couple ways I do this. Number 1 is all my trainings, my manuals, all my information that I give to my staff, it is written in a sense where I'm writing it. I pretend like I am writing it to a large corporation. Okay, and I'm doing that for 2 reasons. 1, I'm doing that from a understandability standpoint. So everybody, I write it simple enough that anybody can understand it. And 2, when you do that, guys, and this goes back to a couple of things some of you guys just said, is it creates black and white. Okay, there is no gray area. And once you take gray area away from staff, it makes your life a hell of a lot easier. Okay, because now when you have black and white, they know where the lines are. They know where the borders are, where they can't cross. So instead of treating your 3 staff members like there's just the 3 of them, and you're having a friendship with them every day, the reality is you need to treat them like it's 300 people. Okay, now could you really do that with 300 people? No, of course not. You get nothing done within a day. All right, so you cannot treat them like small business staff. Everything you do, and I mean everything, guys, from your attendance policy to your sick time, all the way to your trainings, to everything else, lunches, scheduling, it needs to be like you're running a corporation. All right. And I know that might seem a little awkward for some people, but that's just the reality of it. Okay. Second part, remember, you are the leader. They are the employee. Okay. And now this is where I tell a little bit of a personal story. And I'll get into it a little bit, but not too much. So, long story short, I always like to push to people the fact that as much as you might think your employees love you, if you can't pay them, they stop loving you. All right. So I had a personal instance here that I went to rehab at one point for some addiction issues, and I'm not blaming my staff for this at all. But during that issue I had when I was in the midst of my addiction, I blew through every cent I had personally and professionally. I got to the point where I was completely broke going into rehab, and I had a little bit left that the payroll was met while I was in the facility. But when I came out, guess what? No money whatsoever. No money. So I get out of rehab, I go into my business, and I learned this lesson the hard way. I come out and I say, guys, I thank you so much for running the ship while I was gone. However, I don't have the money to pay you right now. I'm going to have to wait till my next month's paycheck, which is about 3 weeks away. What do you guys think happened when I told my staff I could not pay them for 3 weeks? You think a lot of them stuck around? No, they didn't. They're not volunteers. And I'm not saying I blame them for it. But what I'm saying is this, is that you have to remember your staff. They're there for a purpose. They're there for a job, and you need to treat them like that. As much as you think they love you, the reality is once the money's not there and once the job's not there, they're gone. Okay. So it's your job to know what they're doing. All right. It's your job to know that. And it's your job to know if they're going to leave. So that brings me to another question. How it's tough when we look at this staffing conundrum. You have to effectively be the owner of the agency, the manager, the trainer, and HR, along with sometimes counselor, right, guys? Okay, so you have to do all 4 or 5 of those jobs, and you have to do it effectively. How many of you can confidently tell me right now, and do it if you can, that you effectively, every single day, are the owner, manager, trainer, and the HR department, and you're absolutely killing it every day because of that? And if you can say I am, just I am is all you need to put. And we all know that you are killing it every day as the owner, manager, trainer, and HR person effectively. We're all doing it in some form, but being effective with it is a whole different ballgame. All right. So if you are doing that currently, say I am, and awesome. That's great. And that's awesome. And I'm glad to hear that. And the biggest thing I want everybody to understand that on top of that, you got to be a salesman, right? So effectiveness is what we want to do. And that's going to come up in a minute here. Okay. And making them happy in a productive way. All right. So we always want to make them happy in a productive way. And so what do I mean by that? So every day I was talking about how, my staff was cold calling. Well, that's a miserable process. You don't want to make them cold call, right? Cold calling. Who here loves cold calling? And if you put, yes, I love cold calling, I'm going to flat out call you a liar. Cold calling is not only a horrible, uncomfortable process for your staff members, it's a horrible, uncomfortable process for the client that's on the other line. Okay. And so let's say you got staff that's awesome at cold calling. All right. Because there are people that are really good at cold calling. Let's say they're really awesome at cold calling. They close a sale. All right. Or maybe it's you that closes a sale. All right. Or maybe you're in a solo agency. So you're the one that does it all. If you are closing the sale, okay, and it was through a cold call, the person on the other end that actually bought from you, their experience was not that great anyway if they got pushed through a cold call sale. All right. So what are their odds they're going to refer somebody, or they're going to recommend their friends and the family? It's much lower. I'm not saying they won't, but it is much lower. So that's the number one thing you got to do to start making your staff happy in a productive way, is no more cold calling or hounding prospects. And that's why you need to go to what we call a direct response only method. And the direct response only method is something that we're going to talk about, but here's what the direct response only method really entails. All right. First of all, it'll make it so you'll never be put in a position, never be put in the position, to have to talk to people that aren't really warmed up to you yet. All right. That's what direct response means. It means all your advertising, your marketing, everything is directed towards customers coming to you as opposed to you going to them. All right. Does that sound awesome, you guys? Okay. Yeah, so that's what direct response is, and we're going to go through more actual details and ideas of that. But I just want to let you know, direct response, and that could be mail, that could be email, that could be through phone calls, that could through your conventions, whatever it might be. Point is, people are calling you instead of you calling them. All right, so that's a huge part to really all of what direct response is, and that's why you need to eliminate cold calling and hounding prospects. All right. Now, once you can kind of start really implementing these practices, it's never going to put you in the position to be overstaffed or understaffed again, because that's a lot of the times, at least for me, guys, I found that was an issue. I found that, I felt maybe I had too much staff, too little staff, whatever it might be. So figuring this out will actually, make it so you're never in that situation again. The other thing is, I learned you have to pay them fairly. And what do I mean by pay them fairly? And at first it sounds like you got to give them more money, but that's not true. So obviously you have two different, if you have staff, you have two different things. You have people that sell and people that don't. All right. Now you got some people wearing both hats, and we'll go through that in a second. But if you got pure salespeople or people that are more driven towards sales, I go on a draw commission base only for sales. That means no base pay, it's draw on commission. Because really you should only be paying those people when they're making you money. All right. And, a draw is kind of like I don't want to say a loan system because there's no interest in it, but it's almost like a loan system. And then they square up with you after their sales for the month. And then commission, we all know what 100% commission is. You only make what you get. As far as sales coming in. And then as far as your service or non-sales people, their pay should really be based on the agency's total success. All right. And so what I mean by that is they need to be incentivized with, the whole agency's doing. So that means a little bit of a lower base, but more bonus opportunity. And that's the same with a draw or commission for sales also. All right. Is that even though we're going to 100% draw or commission, it can really end up making more money because that's the point here. But they're going to be driving and they're going to be really digging deep and working harder for you. Okay. So the biggest question I always get when I bring this up is, Joe, I have existing staff members. How am I supposed to bring this up to these guys? Here's what I recommend is, once you go through a plan and figure out the best way to do all of this, you pretty much say to them, all right, I got two choices for you. You can stay how you are, or you can move over to this where there's a lot more earning potential. And you literally give them the choice. Anybody that doesn't want to move over to the harder one, their commitment to the agency and their commitment to work. All right. And I don't care who you are. That's just a great way to find that out. Okay. So if you have existing staff and you're like, oh, how do I make this switch? That's how you do it is you put the two in front of you, say, choose, one's going to make you more money. One is secure, but might not make you as much, probably won't make you as much. And if they want the secure one, that means they're probably not somebody you want on your team. Okay. And that's a conversation I have a lot with people, even though the direction you might not know your agency's going in. If you have the right people on the bus, it really doesn't matter, so you got to get the bad people off the bus, right people on the bus. That's a discussion for a whole different day. It's also in a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins, which is an excellent read. So keep that in mind. Also, the biggest, and this might be really the number one thing I learned about my staff is specific jobs. So do not combine too many tasks on one person. Okay. They're not the owner. They don't need to be doing that unless you are the owner and you're doing everything. But if you're not the owner or a solo producer, you can't be doing that. Just because somebody knows how to do a job or several jobs doesn't mean they should be doing a job or several jobs. The biggest thing I did is I took my sales producer, put him in his own office, and the phone didn't even ring into him. All right. Unless we transferred it directly. And that sales producer just had a ton of success. Okay. So what about the sales, right? So talking a little bit else. So what about the sales? Let me talk about how I failed and came back a little bit. Because I had a lot of the old thinking, the stinking thinking that some of you guys might. So I listened to quote unquote experts in corporate. Okay. So I bought leads, I telemarketed, I hounded prospects. All this took up way too much time and my staff's energy. Okay. And then I developed what I've been showing you today, which is the underground agency secrets. Although I obviously didn't realize it at the time that that's what I was doing. I just was going broke. So I knew I had to do something different. So now my new way, and this comes back to the direct response, is every prospect has been introduced to us before we even talk to them, every single one. And so how I did that was I simply built out that direct response model across a lot of forms of my marketing and also the follow-up process that made the prospect want to do business with me. That goes back to that message to market match, you guys. If you have, the right prospects in front of you and the right message to them, it's a magnet that's going to have them calling you. Okay. Once again, it's simple enough. It makes sense. But we just got to remember it. So the results, we were only talking to prospects that wanted to talk to us. And finally, my staff, after I did everything that we talked about in secret number 2, was using their time working on sales that mattered instead of wasting time on dead leads or prospects. So they felt accomplished, right? They felt like they were doing something, and it then turned very quickly into trying to accomplish the same goals together. And then our entire office was happier, less stressed, and much, much more relaxed. The agency that we had, we were writing about, this was a PNC agency in life. It was, I was with Allstate Insurance. So we were writing about 25 sales a month with 3 sales producers. We then took that after we implemented everything, because I started from scratch. We went to 54 sales a month with 1 sales producer. Now, of course, you're saying, why did you fire 2 people? I didn't. I fired 1. But the other person actually found out they were not suited for sales. They were more suited for another position. And that's okay. You might find that when you do this stuff, guys, that somebody should be in a different spot than they initially are. Then we were at 75, 80, and then we went to 100 and so on and so forth. Okay, and we continue to grow month and month after that. Now, without the follow-up and closing process, the leads were absolutely nothing, don't forget. Okay, everything we were doing was awesome, and the way we were communicating, the direct response model was awesome, but without the follow-up and closing process, really it didn't make a difference. So you guys should have gotten the Closing Crusher, and I sent that to you. If you did not get it, I'm going to put it up here. But this, I don't care what industry you're in. All right, what type of insurance, financial services, it does not matter. This will work for you. Okay, so let's review it real quick, you guys. Now, this is just an example, but that's why it says, mailed quote sales packet. This can be an email. This can be a phone call. This can be whatever you want to make it. Now, I'm not going to go through every stage because you guys are all very capable of reading. If for some reason you do not have this, it's in the first email you got from me, okay? And I'll show you at the end, too, if you don't have it, how you can get a copy yourself. All right, so basically, this is set up for one practical use, and it's this. In sales, especially insurance and financial services, 80%, okay, write this stat down. I want you to write this statistic down on a Post-it note somewhere and put it in front of you and give it to your staff. 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th conversation. Wow, think about that for a second, you guys. 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th conversation. So if your follow-up with a prospect ends at 2, 3, or 4, you're missing out on 80% of your opportunities. All right. So this in front of you is a way to ensure you and your staff don't miss those opportunities. Once again, simple enough that your staff knows exactly how to do it. You can hand it to them and it's done. All right. And you don't have to stay on top of it. So as long as they're following this process, and it works, because trust me, I used it, they are getting, several follow-ups with people, and at least the 12. But yeah, 80% of sales don't happen until the 5th through the 12th conversation, or touch, as some people like to call it. All right. So if you don't have this, I'll kind of tell you a couple ways to get it at the end here. Okay. So after all of this, we figured all this out. We were happy again. And that's a picture of all of us on Ugly Sweater Day. And my wife picked out my ugly sweater, which was a cardinal, cardinal sweater. And my wife is the one on my left. And yes, we were happy, not stressed. It just felt good. And I was doing it with this staff, you guys. Like, it's not, you don't need 20 flipping salespeople. All right. So if you guys are keeping score at home, we have one more secret left. Secret number 3. And that's installs an efficient and automatic process that allows you to spend your time on the things that matter. Okay. And this is especially important for either you solo producers, or maybe you only have 1 or 2 staff members. So, you're pretty crammed with time during the day. Let's think about something for a second. I don't know how many of you heard this concept, the money replenishes, but time doesn't. Now, it's obvious, it might be obvious to some people what I mean by this, but here's the reality. All of us get our paychecks, might be monthly, depending on how your scale is, might be weekly, bi-weekly, but we all get a paycheck on a consistent basis for, the sales, the renewals, whatever it might be we have in our book of business. And that comes by every single time. The problem is our time doesn't do that, right? So if you've wasted time on a process or you're doing something that could be done automatically, that time doesn't replenish. So that's what I mean by money replenishes and time doesn't. You know, that's why I personally, I'm always willing to spend a good amount of money if I can save a good amount of time. All right. So if we talk about that, is step one in really installing this efficient process to save us some time is, once again, understanding our target market better than any one of our competitors, setting up a welcoming conversation. That way we're not chasing a ton of people. And remember I said aimlessly? The word aimlessly is a time waster. All right, so that's a big one. Step number two is, once again, create multiple compelling messages in our marketing that makes the prospects know we're the right fit for them. If they can know that we're the right fit for them already, you guys, then I have to do a far less selling and far less convincing, which saves me time. And my staff members are doing it, not me. And especially this part, step three, had a process that is 100% automated and my staff could easily carry out on a daily, weekly, monthly basis with great success and very little management. All right. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing to all of this is once you can get to that point, then you can do the important things. And I don't know what that is for you. That can be anything. That can be, you know, maybe you have different businesses. Maybe you want to have more time with your family. Maybe you want to go on more vacations. Maybe you have a hobby or an interest that you want to spend more time with. But think about how awesome that would be if you could have an automatic agency that runs without you having to be there. That was our goal, I think, at one point in time for a lot of us anyway, not everybody, but for a lot of people, you know, when they first got in business for themselves, you know, it was the dream of, well, I'll get some staff under me. I'll be able to take the time off I need, et cetera, et cetera. And it just didn't happen for us for one reason or another. And I get that, guys, but that's why doing these secrets of the underground agency can bring that to you. All right. And remember, money replenishes, time doesn't. So once you can figure this out, it's huge. And it made the change in my life. Okay. All right. So here's the other cool part is how much money I saved while I was selling more policies, because I wasn't doing a lot of things. I wasn't spending money on internet leads. I wasn't spending aimless amounts of money on SEO or website optimization or online advertising. I wasn't paying a telemarketer, you know, or service or anything like that, or warm lead service. I did have, like I mentioned, less staff because between another staff member gone, a telemarketer, and we were doing a more effective job. I was doing that. And once again, what's that word? Aimless marketing, you know, which could have been, for me anyway, it was Yellow Pages, media like TV, radio, things like that. So I saved a ton of money a month. It was about, for me anyway, it was about $6,700 a month, 80 grand a year I saved, and I was selling more. I mean, just imagine for a second, you guys, if all you could do was save 80 grand a year by learning these 3 simple secrets. Think about that. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to me, at least. Maybe not all of you, but that's a lot of money to me, you know? 80 grand a year. And that's what I save. Now, obviously, some of you, it's going to be more, it's going to be less, depending on what you're doing. But that's what this underground agency can do for you. Okay. All right. So now, as you can see, if you implement this stuff, your life and your business can absolutely change forever. And you got to trust me on that. It can change forever to the point where I do this full time now, guys. This is what I do full time. I was able to take an agency that I had and I built it up so quickly that I honestly, I sold it for a great premium. And I do this full time. I run these live events. I help other agents out. I have a blast doing it. I can honestly say I'm living the dream. Okay. So this type of stuff, and I apologize for the misspell in business there. I actually was working on these slides earlier today, and so I apologize. You know, it's one of those things where it can absolutely it can change forever. Okay. All right. So keep going here. So who wants to go ahead and see how all this stuff works in the mastermind portal? All right. Anybody want to go check? I mean, we don't have to. We can wrap up after this. But does anybody want to go into the mastermind portal to kind of see what all this is about? All right. Okay, let me open it up here. All right. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share and show you everything we got. There's my mug, so I apologize for that up front. And you guys should see it. All right. Do you guys see that? All right. Does everybody see that? Welcome. I should say welcome to the Underground Agency with some menus to the left. All right. So let me show you kind of a little bit about this, guys. All right. So great. You guys can see that. So I won't bore you with everything here. Well, I don't want to say everything's awesome, but we don't have time to do that here. All right. So let me kind of show you the direct response stuff. Okay. So first, remember we were talking about the targeting, the laser focused targeting on prospects. All right. So we go through 3 different things: the demographic, psychographic, and psychographic. All right, neat little tutorial I made for my mastermind members. And then this is the mining for prospects. This is where you get the leads. All right, so that's always pretty cool. People love that. And then the campaign, this is what I told you I would show you guys. And this one isn't filled out, it's a blank one. But this video I show people how to do it. But the point is, if you open this up, give me a second, it's opening up. It shows you what what I call the campaign builder is. And remember, this is the plug and play map that I went ahead and I created on my own. But everybody, let's see here. All right. Yeah, I just want to show you this plug and play map because it's pretty cool. There you go. It looks blank, I know that, but the video I show actually goes through it. And then once you figure it all out, you just literally pop in everything and you show it to your staff and they go off and run with it. All right. So there's a lot more when it comes to this portal, guys. Let me keep showing you because it's going to kind of tie together everything we just did. All right. And that's why I'm showing this to you. All right, cool. There, you should see it again. All right. Let's see. This talks about our how we send out our mail packages. Oh, this is something that nobody else. I think I told you guys. This is the ultimate insurance marketing calendar. Okay. Go up here. Let's see. All right, so is it blurry, guys? I'm having a lot of people tell me it's kind of out of focus. I'm not sure why that would be. Huh. Boy, you guys are brutal on here. Chop, chop. All right, geez, Scott. Let's see. All right. Just all right. So I don't know. Can everybody see this? So basically, this is all formulated for you. All right. So what happens? Oh, it is small print. So it kind of goes through all the different things you can send and tells you what your ROI is, your profit loss. Okay, so that's all included in here too. All right. Let's see. And I'll just go back to this and we'll show you a couple more awesome things. The follow-up and close masterclass I teach to people is probably our most popular thing. It's pretty awesome. And it pretty much just goes through all the cool stuff as far as training and working with following up on leads and the best way to close them and all the different cool processes we have. And then I got a podcast down here. That's always fun. All right, so that's real. There's a lot of info in here, guys. A ton of info. I don't want to go through it all because we'd be here for another 2 hours. But you know, it's just a bunch of really cool stuff. And this is the portal that kind of puts it all together. Okay. All right. So let me go back. We'll wrap everything up here. All right. All right, so everybody back, should be back on that main screen. All right, cool. So now you can take what I've shown you today, go out and just start figuring out how to use the Underground Agency secrets. All right, so hopefully you took some notes and all that good stuff. All you guys are definitely smart enough, more than capable of doing this. Obviously, you wouldn't be where you are today if not, okay? Now, the problem is this: to create an automated machine, it can take several years and even more money. I did, and I put this on here for a reason, because I spent just about probably 50 grand in training the last 2 years alone to get all this just right because of you know, trial and error, and that's just very frustrating. So in this time together, I know you probably seem a little overwhelmed, but do you agree it's been useful? Have you at least gotten 1 or 2 little tidbits, you know, that have been useful? Now, we can't cover everything in one day, and even an hour we can't cover everything, but especially an entire day we probably couldn't. But I will say this: I do have something that will give you all that you need to know and get this implemented today. I want to kind of work with you guys one-on-one to get this all going. So I do have an offer for you, and with your permission, I'd like to share that with you if anybody's interested in hearing that. If not, that's okay, but I would like to kind of share with you what my offer I have for you. I know that can be a little awkward, you know, but I wanted to at least bring it up before I do anything. Okay, so here's what I got. The reality is this: all of us have been on trainings and seminars, web events, whatever it might be. So old habits die hard. And what do I mean by that? So whenever you go to a training, an event, or, you know, a speaker, you know, anything else, the reality is, why doesn't it ever work? It doesn't work because the next day, you don't do anything about it. And I want to change that for you guys. I want to change that you don't do anything about it. So that's what I mean by old habits die hard. So what I want to offer you today is the opportunity to check out our Underground Agency Mastermind membership, which is exactly what I just showed you. All right. And it goes in depth into everything. So let me go over what you're going to get out of the membership. And I showed you a little bit of it. I showed you kind of the tip of the iceberg, but let me show you everything you're going to get. You're going to get the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects, so find them and turn them into leads. And I put the values, which honestly, guys, they're actually probably a little low, but I put the values on there. 30-minute one-on-one private coaching call with myself, HR training department in a box. So all those things that I said that you might have to, you know, treat your company, your small business like a corporation, I've done it all for you. All right. So all the different trainings and all the different, you know, HR stuff, scheduling and all that junk, I've done all of that for you and put it accessible to you, editable, however you want. Hours of coaching updated monthly. And then our monthly mastermind calls, access to 2 private sites. So it's the site you just saw, and we have a private Facebook group. All right. And this is all updated monthly to meet our market demands because our industry changes all the time with insurance and financial services. So right there alone, that's a value of $10,994. All right. And I'll go through a couple testimonials as I do everything, guys. And that's just kind of how I do. I don't ever read them, but I do want you to see that we have several, you know, well over 450 plus agents since we opened this up on January 1 that are in our mastermind membership and just having awesome success with it. So this gentleman's from Alabama. Okay. And now let me tell you who this is currently working for. It's working for any exclusive independent agency owners. And what I mean by that is PNC, but obviously life and financial specialists who own the agency, and medical and health insurance providers. I have a little bit of everything. We got a little bit of everything in our mastermind group. Okay. So when I did this, I kind of had two choices. First option, I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many memberships as possible, but not really have the time or resources to make it as awesome as you just saw and keep it incredible month after month. That was my first option. Or I had a second option, which required a little bit of a higher investment, but then I, could provide a massive amount of info that would practically guarantee your success. Also, making it a monthly updated membership service that never went stagnant. So I could basically, with the second option, I could serve you better, which is what I want to do. Let me ask you this question. What would it be worth if we could do everything we talked about today? If you could do that for your business, what if you could do that successfully for just 3 months? What would that be worth to you? Right? Maybe, what about a year? What if you could do it for a year? What would that be worth to you guys? How about 10 years? What would it be worth if you could, plan to have the retirement life you wanted, or to have your family live the life that they deserve? The whole reason you got into this business, right? What would that be worth to you? And let's talk about your other marketing investments. How are they going? All right. So maybe your paid leads, like we talked about, $1,000 plus a month. SEO, website optimization. All right. That's obviously expensive. How are those? How is that going? Hard copy ads. We didn't really talk about this, but newspaper or signage or anything of that nature, right? Or what about yellow pages? Yellow pages are expensive. I don't even, I haven't done them in a while just because of really the return on it is next to nothing. And media, as I talked about, TV, radio, and what's your return for each? Remember that calculator I just showed you guys? That figures it out for you. Okay. So you can see now why I do have private clients, that personally have me come into their office for 10 grand a day just to set everything up for them. Basically what I do is I go to wherever they are and I set everything up for them. I show them the site and then I set it up one-on-one. I train them, I train their staff members, I train their entire office. At first you look at 10,000 a day, but think about it. Would you pay 10 grand a day for one day that profits you millions over a lifetime? Would you pay that? I think that's, any of us, I would hope that's a pretty smart marketing investment, right? Okay. So I also wanted to throw in a couple things here. So bonus number one, remember when we talked about the message, the compelling messages? Well, I made a sales writing copy course. It's taught by me and you can use it forever. That teaches you how to write the best sales letters out there. All right. That's only for people that buy through this training today, but that's the first bonus I want to put. So let me recap what you're going to get. It's the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects. It's the 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself. HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly, the monthly mastermind calls and access to our private sites, the bonus that I just talked about in the sales writing copy course, all updated monthly to meet our market demands. And that's a total value of $12,291. Okay. And just more people talking about the videos. That's the biggest thing I get, guys, is the videos are just beyond useful. And those are a lot of different trainings, and it just teaches you, sales concepts, follow-up concepts that are really back to that doomsday prepper theory of we need to stay alive in this new economy. That's the key to all of this in the Underground Agency. It's to stay alive as an agent in the new economy. All right. I also want to throw this in for this training. Our second bonus. So those messages, those compelling messages, I've done all the sales templates for you. So marketing, advertising, sales literature, it's made for you. It's 100% copyright free, and I made it so it's fully customizable. So you just put your name, your staff name, your agency name on it, whatever you want to put, the content's already there. Okay. Now, once again, that's only people bought through this training. So let's go over what you're going to get today. The entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects. 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself, the HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly, monthly mastermind calls and access to the private site. And bonus number one is the sales copy course. Bonus two, the done for you sales templates, all updated monthly. And that's a total value of $13,288. All right. And that's once again on the conservative side. If you were to bring in a marketing specialist, this bonus is the last one and the one I am by far most excited about. Out of everything I have ever produced, and I've done this for a while, everybody tells me this is the number one thing that they literally, and the reason I put this value is I have had more than one person tell me they'd pay $5 grand for this masterclass. So bonus number 3, I'm gonna give it to you today on the membership. All right. Once again, only for people on this training, but it's the follow up and close masterclass. All right. I kind of showed you because that was my membership we went into. So obviously I have it. That alone with the stuff attached to it is worth its weight in gold. All right. So you're going to get the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects. You're going to get the 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself, HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly, the monthly mastermind videos and access to the private site. Bonus number 1, which is the sales writing copy course. Bonus number 2, which is the done for you sales templates. And bonus 3, the most exciting one, the follow up and close masterclass. Plus you're going to get everything a normal mastermind has with it. And that's networking with other agents across the country for the best ideas, because our top people, top insurance and financial representatives across the country are part of this thing. All right. Once again, all updated monthly to meet the market demands. Total value today of $17,785. And guys, honestly, I feel that's conservative. All right. Some of you may disagree, but that's, if you go out, if you've ever shopped for these types of services, then I don't have to tell you that this is a conservative number. Let's think about this. What if all this stuff did was give you the kick in the butt you need to run your business like you've always imagined and give you some accountability, right? Or what if all this did, if it did nothing else, it cut out those 80 grand in expenses per year we talked about? Would it be worth it? Or what about, so you don't have to worry about your staff on a daily basis, have that automatic process in place, or just, you know, have it automatically in place for you? Lastly, what if all this did, if all it did was free up your time as a business owner and the office was still making you money while you spent your time doing whatever else you wanted? Remember, guys, money replenishes, time doesn't. Here's the cool thing. All of this each one singularly would be great. You get them all. This all happens when you're part of the underground agency. All right. So now, initially, you could see why this would be a good deal if I offered it at 10 grand a year. Okay. Because it would make sense. Like I said, the value of $17,285, sell it for 10, that's a $7,000 discount, right? But because you're here, I do want to offer you a much better deal today, even though I do fully believe it's worth that $10,000, and you should now see why it's worth that $10,000. Today, you can get started for only $997 a year, or you can choose the monthly option for $97. And that gives you unlimited access. You get all the bonuses and everything that we have talked about today. All right. And that is and you cancel anytime. Okay. So you're going to see a button on your right where you can sign up today, guys, for $997 for the year. And obviously, if you do the yearly, you're saving 2 whole months. So you're saving $200 if you do the yearly, or you can go $97 a month. All right. And so that's the offer I have for you today. So let me go over real quick what you're going to get with everything. All right. And that's the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects. Okay. That's the 30-minute one-on-one call with myself, the HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly, the monthly mastermind that says videos should be calls and access to the private site, the sales writing copy course, the done for you sales templates, and the awesome, amazing follow up and close masterclass, $17,785 value. So click the offer button to your right to take advantage of this. I don't know how many of you have ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, but his best advice he gives there is poor people spend money on liabilities such as cars, boats, toys, heck, even vending machine stuff. Wealthy people spend money on assets. That's business investments, educations, trainings, things of that nature. Okay. And that's what I wanted to bring up in this case. You know, that's the difference between Rich Dad and Poor Dad, is this is not just something that's going to help you today, but it's an investment in your future and your family's future. Okay. You know, I've had the pleasure of coming across so many great agents while doing this, and just the transformation I've been seeing. And it's not just that they mindlessly take what I give them and do it. They adapt it to their own. And Chris here, it says CB, his name's Chris, is one of them. He went from a new agent to the fastest growing scratch startup agent for PNC in the state of Washington. Awesome success story. You know, so that's what this underground agency can do for you. Now, you have 2 choices. So your first option is you can do nothing and not take this tiny leap of faith, you'll wake up tomorrow in the same position you are today. But let me ask you, why are you here? Why'd you sit through the webcast? Why are you still on listening? Because I'm going to guess you don't want to do that tomorrow. Okay? You don't want to go into your office just figuring out what the heck you're going to do the next day. Okay? Right? Now, the second option, you can pony up a small investment today compared to all the value you get in return and simply give it a shot. I'm guessing you've spent a lot more for a lot less, like 20 internet leads, right? Or maybe a bad staff decision or bad training, maybe. Okay? So click the offer button to your right, and it'll take you to a page where you can choose either between the $9.97 a year or the $97 a month. With all of this, I give you my 365-day insane guarantee. All right, which there's nothing like this in the insurance business. So 3 parts of this guarantee. 1, with the compelling message, if you can't figure out how to get your prospects' attention, I'm going to personally work with you on generating the right message to market match for your market. All right, so that's the first thing. If your sales producers still aren't closing at higher rates or just not getting it, I'm going to work with them one-on-one. All right, or if you're not able to show any improvement in sales numbers, I will give you continuous one-on-one coaching every step of the way. The main part, guys, I don't want to just have you become members and leave you. I want to make sure every single one of you, every single one of my mastermind members is successful. All right, so click the button on your right, get started, and the real question is it worth a few minutes of your time and a few dollars to check this out? Imagine if it gives you even half the results of what I've told you so far. It's paid for itself for an entire year in like 1 month. Agreed? All right, so click the button on your right to get started there. Now, I always like to talk about what I call the tale of 2 people, okay? So the first guy is the shy, timid guy or girl who shows up on this webcast really, and they think it's kind of cool information. They never plan on doing anything about it, or they sit there and they just criticize the whole process while they're racking their brains trying to, figure out how to do more business. Okay, those aren't the people I like working with. So if you saw people complaining on any of the chats today, I don't like working with those people anyway. Because they are people that look at any excuse not to have success besides themselves. The people I like working with is the guy on your right-hand side. That's us. That's the people that are willing to take action. They understand they got to try something different, especially in this new economy, guys. It's scary when you think about how quickly our agencies are closing. All right. So I'm not trying to use scare tactics. It's just the reality of it. All right. But those are the people that I want to join me. And those are the people that are already in the mastermind membership. So you're going to join other people like that. All right. So let me go over what you're going to get. Just so we're all clear on the same page here, you're going to get the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects, the 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself, HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly, the monthly mastermind call and access to the private site, the bonus, which is the sales writing copy course, bonus number 2, the done for you templates, and bonus number 3, the follow up and close masterclass, and the total value of $17,785. Which we're going to give away today for $9.97 a year, $97 a month, whichever way you want to do it, for the 12-month membership. So click the button on your right to do that. Now, guys, I want to bring it to you, bring it to a close here. I'm not unique or special. All right. I have personally never been the smartest in the room. It took me 4.5 years to get an associate's degree. That's the honest to God's truth. I spent 10 years of trial and error to discover these secrets that I'm giving you today for a very, very small investment. All right, think about $50,000 in years of knowledge for $97 a month is what you're getting today. All right, now you can spend countless hours and even more money doing it the hard way like we talked about, or simply give this shot and be a part of the Underground Agency Mastermind Group. All right, why are you on here today? Was it because you had nothing better to do? Absolutely not. You guys are all very busy people. You're on here today because you wanted to make a difference in your life, your agency, and your office. All right, that's why you're on here today. So take the leap of faith, give it a shot. You can cancel any time and just come with us, join us, and make this revolution a success with us. We're going to be successful, to be honest, whether people are on board or not, because we have enough people now and it's growing every single day. I get to talk to people day in and day out, and it's just amazing to see the transformation. All right, so click the offer button to your right, get started today, and that'll take you to a page where you get to select either $9.97 a year or $97 a month. To go ahead and just get rolling. You get instant access too. You get access immediately, guys. All right. So real quick, what you're going to get is the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects, 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself. You're going to get the HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly mastermind calls, and access to the private sites. And the first bonus is a sales writing copy course. Second is the professional done-for-you sales templates, which are completely copyright-free and editable, like I said before. And bonus 3, which is the awesome follow-up and close masterclass, which I literally have had people tell me they'd pay $5,000 for. Total value today of $17,785. You're going to get it for $997 or $97 a month if you just simply click the offer button to sign up today to your right. All right. So that's what you're going to want to do next, guys, is click that offer button and you can get started right now. Now, if you didn't sign up immediately and you're still listening to me, I can only think of a few reasons why you didn't. Number one, you've been jaded by insurance marketing tricks in the past. I get it. I have too. So I understand what you're fearful of. But the reality is, none of them offer a guarantee. None of them offer, this type of information. None of them have been through the trenches. A lot of the people that are selling you that stuff have never been an agent. I was with my company over 10 years as an agent, staff member. I've done every single job in the insurance industry. Okay, so I get it. I would never develop a product and never keep a single client if I had these tricks. I don't sign one-trick ponies. That's not, if I could only make $97 at a time, I wouldn't make that much money. So I rely on people staying with me as clients, and that's why I give them pure quality when it comes to this stuff. Reason number 2 might be you thought it's just too much to do and you don't think your agency can handle it. That's the misconception, guys, is to be able to free up your time, you need to spend some time learning this stuff, and then you free up your time forever. Okay, so that if that's holding you back, you can't let it, because we go, step by step, hold your hand through it all so that it's not too much for you to do, and your agency will be able to handle it. Reason 3, you think it's too expensive. Honestly, if $97 is too expensive to make a change in your entire agency and life, guys, not much I can do to combat that. You guys are all salespeople. I get overcoming objections. I'm not even going to spend time objecting to that. It's $97 to change your entire way you can live your life and run your office. So click the offer button to your right. You can get started today. What you're going to get is the entire process we use to gain thousands of prospects, the 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with myself, HR training department in a box, hours of new coaching updated monthly, the monthly mastermind call, and access to the private site. Our bonus, which is the sales writing copy course. Our second bonus, which is the professional done for you templates. Bonus number 3, which is the awesome follow-up and close masterclass. Real quick, that 30-minute coaching call, guys, with myself is actually, you can do whatever you want with that call. You can make whatever subject, sales, service, staff, whatever you want to make it. It's entirely up to you. Total value, $17,785. If you click the offer button to your right, you will get it today for $997 a year or $97 a month. So pay up front for the year. You get 2 months for free, and you're locked into that. Okay, guys? All right, so I want to thank you so much for attending. You can click the button to your right, or if you have other questions, you can go with www.imwithdavis.com/underground. But if you do it that way, you won't get the bonuses. So the only way to get the bonuses today is through the offer button to your right. I'm going to go back. I'm going to leave this on here for people that might be doing some other stuff right now or still on the line. And I'll hang on the chat for a few more minutes, you guys, till probably about 3:30. Other than that, I thank you so much for joining me. And, check me out on Facebook, my website, www.imwithdavis.com, Facebook, www.facebook.com/JMDavisI. And I will talk to you guys later. Make it a great day, awesome success, and an amazing 2016 if I don't talk to you. See you later. Bye.